Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Liaquat Zaman, and I hope all you guys are having a wonderful time and you're following me on Kanz al-Daqaiq and following me on my other videos. If you haven't checked out my other videos, I've done videos on Sarf, on Tarkib al-Quran, I'rab. I've done translation videos. I'm doing Fiqh and Nahu, all sorts of things, live question and answers. Check them out, inshallah. Subscribe, press the bell, share it with your friends and family. Let's get on with this then. So we are doing Kanz al-Daqaiq now. So the mas'ala that we're stuck on at the moment, right, which we're going through, hopefully should finish by today. We are talking about gross sales. Now let me just recap for you what gross sales are. Gross sales are basically where you sell large quantities of things, and you kind of like you may not have mentioned the entire volume of how much is being purchased. So what do you do in this situation? Like, so you got a big company, and let's say this big company sells, I don't know, some small little components, screws or something, and they sell it by the bucket load, or they sell it by the scoop, or whatever, sell it by weight, or sell it by... So how does these things work? Let's say, for example, I want to buy 10 cups of rice because I'm going to have a party, a isolation party from the coronavirus. So we have a party, and I want 10 cups. I need 10 cups. So how does this work then? So if we said, if I am the seller, you are the customer. If you say, okay, I agree to buying 10, and I say one costs £1, that means the agreement according to Abu Hanifa has only been done in £1, right? It hasn't been done in the total. So therefore, because the total has not been mentioned, either the total quantity of commodity of rice that I have, or the total of its value. If I haven't mentioned these two, then Abu Hanifa says the contract will only go through in the bare minimum that's been specified. Sahibain on the other hand say no. They say it actually goes through if you scoop it up or weigh it or measure it and you find it to be the amount that was stipulated. And if you don't find it to be the amount stipulated, then you can back away and you don't have to pay for it. Right, so we said this was when it comes to fungible items. Now, what about when it comes to non-fungible items? Right, because we said fungible items are things that can be replaceable, that are exactly the same. One scoop from here, one scoop from the right, from the left, it's exactly the same. But things like animals, for instance, if you come to me and let's say you want to buy a lamb, you want to buy 10 lambs, and I say to you, right, I've got all this herd of animals. I say one lamb is for £100, and you say to me, excellent, very, very good price. The problem that's going to occur is that you're going to be saying to me, well, I want this one. I want this nice smiley lamb. I don't want this, moody lamb, right? So in other words, we're going to be arguing over which lamb you're going to take. That's not something which is nice because it's going to lead to fighting, and we want to have this kind of transparency and cooperation between buyers and sellers. So trade is based upon trust. Remember that. And if you lose that trust in trade, people are not going to buy from you. So Abu Hanifa rahimahullah and everyone says this transaction is not allowed because it's gonna end up in an argument. Alright, so now how do we deal with this then? So you have to mention the value of each one, or you have to bring it to your front and say, right, I'm selling this one for £100. You want it? And you say, yeah, you gotta take it because you've agreed to it. Third scenario is if I mention to you, let's say I'm selling rice, and I say to you, I'm selling rice, each cup is for £1. In order for this transaction to become valid for the entire amount that you want, which is 10, I either have to mention to you the entire quantity that I presume that I have, or the value that I am selling it at, the full value. So you come and you say, sir, I would like to buy 10 cups of rice. And I say, excellent, I have 10 cups of rice, right? 10 cups of rice for £10. And each cup is for £1, or if I don't even mention each cup, so then you can buy it off me, right? So if you find 10, you have to pay for 10, and if you find 9, you pay for 9, right? You find 11, you can pay for 10, and you don't take the 11th. Why? Because fungible items are something that can be understood. There's not going to be any fighting taking place. You can take it from any part of the sack, all right? It's not really going to be causing much of a problem really. So that's why that is allowed over there. The fourth scenario is where you have something like a non-fungible item like cloth, or like a goat or a sheep. And you mention like the cloth, let's say you mention the entire amount. I say, I have 10 meters of cloth. All right. You want to buy that? That's one scenario. Or I have 10 meters of cloth. Each meter is for £1. So if I say to you, I have 10 meters of cloth. If I find it to be 10, you obviously take it for 10. But if you find it to be 9, then you have to take it for the price of 10. Because this is a non-fungible, you can't treat it like rice. You can't say each cup is equal. Because in a cloth, classical cloth, each meter was different. The size, the width, the consistency, the quality might have been different. So that's why they say, Hanafi say, that if you have 10, you buy it for 10. If you have 9, you take it for the price of 10. So you still got to give £10, even if you got 9 or 8 or 7. If you don't want it, remember, you only agreed to 10. You have full right to back out. You have full right. Right? But if you find it to be 11, you can take 11 for the price of 10. You get an extra meter, or 12 or 13, whatever amount you find, you take it for the price of 10, because that's what was agreed in the contract, and we can't add anything or subtract any amount because it's non-fungible. We can't in our heads formulate the price of each meter. It has to be stipulated in the contract. Unlike fungible items, the amount actually can be stipulated in the contract. Does that make sense? All right. But if the fourth scenario, if you have cloth and I mentioned to you the full amount that I presume I have, and I even mentioned to you the value of each meter, this now makes it permissible. In other words, you take 10 for 10, and if you find 9, you take it for the price of 9, which is £9, and 6 for 6, and 5 for 5, and so forth. Why? Because in the contract it was agreed that 10 is for 10, and each one costs 1. So for that to be valid, if you have 9, you've got to give it 10. All right. Now, what if you find it 11 though? If you find it to be 11, on the other hand, you don't take it for the price of 10. You don't take 10 and walk away. You don't cut one off and leave it. Here's another issue that's like more like an ethical, moral kind of element, which is you're not allowed to harm the seller as well. Because if I sell you 10, I cut the 10 and there's 1 meter left, is anyone going to buy that 1 meter? Don't think so. So it looks like no one's going to buy 1 meter of cloth. So the seller is going to end up with lots of 1 meter cloths. No one's going to buy. So this is why here the Hanafis say you have to take the 11 for the price of 11. 11, why? Because you're going to harm the seller if you cut one off. And the price of 11 because you in the contract agreed that each meter has a price in itself. So that's all the scenarios for this one. The only thing I'd mention here is, why is there a difference between fungible and non-fungible? Well, the idea is the Hanafis say that you can only assume the price of 1 unit when it's something that can be like formulated in the mind, like fungible items. And if it's non-fungible, you can't formulate the price of one. Like for example, let's say I'm selling a pillow and a book and a watch. If I say to you the watch costs £100, you can't assume how much the pillow costs just from that value of £100 from watch, can you? No, you can't. So this is why it becomes very important to appreciate the values that are mentioned or the prices that are mentioned in the contract. So anyway, let's have a little read of this and see what you guys can make of it. So he says, وَلَوْ سَمَّ الْكُلْ, if the entire quantity is mentioned, صَحَّ فِي الْكُلْ, then the contract is valid in kul. In our case, it was 10 for 10. فَلَوْ نَقَصَ, if however it was found, I scooped it up and I found the rice to be less than 10, okay, أَخَذَ بِحِصَّتِهِ, the mushtari, the buyer, will take it for its proportionate price. أَوْ فَسَخَ, or he has full right to nullify the contract because he agreed in the contract 10 for 10. وَإِنْ زَادَ فَلِلْبَيْعِ, and if he finds it to be more than 10, then the extra 1 scoop or cup is going to be for the seller. وَلَوْ نَقَصَ, and if he finds it to be less, فِي الذِّرَاءِ, or نَقَصَ ذِرَاء, 1 meter is found less, he doesn't find 10, he finds 9. أَخَذَ بِكُلِّ الثَّمَنِ, he takes 9 for the price of 10. أَوْ تَرَكَ, or he leaves it. وَإِنْ زَادَ, and if he finds it to be more than 10, فَلِلْمُشْتَرِي, then the mushtari gets the 11th one for free. وَلَا خِيَارَ لِلْبَيْعِ, and the seller has no right to say anything here. This is only when the cloth, the full amount has been mentioned, but the amount of each unit has not been mentioned. وَلَوْ قَالَ كُلُّ ذِرَاء بِكَذَا, and if he says, so in this masala, that every meter is for this much, I have 10 meters, plus on top of that, I'm telling you that each meter costs £1. وَنَقَصَ, then if he finds it less than 10, أَخَذَ بِحِصَّتِهِ, he takes the proportionate amount for its value. 9 for 9, 8 for 8, so forth. أو ترك, or you can leave the contract because you wanted 10. So you have the right to take 10, and if you don't find 10, you can step away because it goes against مبادلة المال بالمال بالتراضي. Taradi is not found over here then. وإن زاد, and if it's more than 10, أخذ كله, he must take all 11 or 12 or whatever. كل ذراع بكذا, every ذراع with the value of £1. أو فسخ, or you can just leave the contract because taradi is not found. مبادلة المال بالمال بالتراضي. So those are the scenarios. There's one more scenario which is to do with the selling of the parts of the house in saham, which is shares basically. But I don't want to kind of go into that at the moment. I think I'll leave that for next week because I don't want to burden you with too much sort of, confusing masail. Right, so how can we understand in this today masail? So all right, maybe we can understand it. Have any of you guys ever bought from those, the halal ones basically? Those sweets where you have those, in those kind of buckets, right, in the shelves, and then you have a scoop, and then you can scoop up £1 for Coca-Cola bottles, and £1 for those milk chocolate mice, and £1 for M&Ms, and £1 for this and that. Halal ones, obviously, halal ones. So that is where this would work. So if the label said £1 per scoop, right? So if you know exactly how much is there, then it's fine. If you don't know how much is there, then you have the problem. Hanifa would only allow one. But if it's kind of like exactly mentioned how much, then it's fine, the transaction. So, you'd be buying according to how much you want. So if you want 1 scoop, that's 1 transaction. If you want 2 scoops, that's 2 transactions. 3 scoops, 3 transactions, and so forth. Does that make sense? Or, for example, I'm thinking like maybe you want to buy something in like bulk, large quantities, like people kind of sell, lots of factories sell these kind of small little nuts or bolts or screws, something like that by weight, right? So if they mention that one quantity, then it's going to fall into the masail of fungible. And if it's something which is non-fungible, like for example, I don't know, maybe it's like the charity shops where they sell used clothes, right, to other organizations. There each cloth is a bit different from the other cloth, right? So you might have the problem there with regards to the gross sale of those. Maybe even it's like sometimes some factories have these kind of parts where it's considered scrap for them, so that they cut out these kind of plastic desks and they'll have some scraps and they sell those off to other organizations or places, or even like some naan shops. They have extra naans left over, and in the bulk naan they go and sell them by weight to someone else. But these are kind of like gross sales. This is where this masail would apply. In today's times, cloth is considered to be fungible, by the way, just to let you know. Most cloth fungible because it's textile and it's all standardized. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys like these videos. Let me know anything in the comments you like about these videos, or how you can possibly even come up with some ideas of gross sales. I don't know. You let me know. Put it in the comments. And let me know what kind of books you're reading on the side as well to supplement these lessons as well. So take care, guys, in these days of coronavirus spreading. Keep yourself safe, keep your family safe. Lots of dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair, guys, for all of your support. Without your support, I wouldn't have been able to produce the videos that I've put up on my YouTube channel. And there is so much more that I really want to do. And without the support of you guys who are patrons, generously supporting this channel, I've been able to get myself a camera, which, as you guys can see, the quality of this camera, mic system, software. I've been able to hire an editor. So what do I want to do? I want to make lots and lots and lots of more videos for beginners, for intermediate, advanced, in the subjects like Arabic and Fiqh and Hadith and Tafsir and Aqidah and all those other things as well. And for this to happen, again, this channel needs support. So if you guys want to become patrons and support this channel, then check out the link below. Also, if you do become patrons, you'll have access to videos that I don't put up on my normal YouTube channel. So check that out, inshallah. And there's most other perks as well that you guys can benefit from. And if you want to access this channel through social media, we've got Twitter, we've got Instagram, Facebook page, and other things as well that you can visit. So Jazakumullah khair again, guys. Thank you very much for your support. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair for watching this video. I hope to see all of you guys. If you guys are interested, please leave us feedback, get in contact with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.